Aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour la suite de Fire Emblem. J'espère que vous allez bien, moi ça va comme d'habitude. Aujourd'hui on continue notre aventure avec un nouveau chapitre. Et enfin on a gagné haut
Part
la main.
1. White clouds. Red wolf moon. The flame in the darkness.
Faudra vraiment que je me décide pour les classes, faut que j'arrête assez vite. Hein.
Hoarfrost now graces treetops and open fields alike, and an icy chill blown in from the north of Fargus blankets the land. All of Fódlan's creatures begin to settle in for a long winter. The setting sun bathes the full winter coat of every wolf in a foreboding scarlet glow. Hunters can now spread the word that the red wolves are back on the prowl.
Allez. Qu'est-ce qui va nous arriver maintenant? Les gens sont fous, vont tous nous agresser. Allez. De toute façon, dans le jeu, j'arrive pas à dépenser tout l'argent. C'est impossible. Mais vraiment impossible.
That's what we're dealing with. Is there no chance it's an infectious disease? There are no absolutes in medicine, but the chances are extremely slim. Restless movements, fits of violence, becoming bedridden, or even impossible to wake. With symptoms that varied, there are only a few possibilities. It's either a mixture of poisons or magic, and dark magic at that.
You're talking about Remire Village, aren't you, Manuela?
Oh my, if it isn't Jeralt. Tell me, what was the first thing you heard?
Everything, after you mentioned that it's not likely an infectious disease. My child and I owe the people of Remire Village. If something's happening there, we must help them.
We scouted the area ourselves. Speak with the knights, hear what they have to say. I must go. Thank you for your help, Manuela.
You know, I'm more than willing to go with you to Remire Village. After all, I owe
Je
you
suis pas
my
confiance,
life.
je sais pas, je l'aime
If you'd
pas.
like, I bet we could even manage the mission all by ourselves. Just the two of us. You're saying
pas.
no? Well, aren't you just a great big bore?
Nice try, but I'll be going to the village as well. Enough nonsense. It's time to move out.
As you like. Goodbye, Jeralt. Goodbye, Professor.
I'll be in my office making preparations. What about you? If you have the time, it would be helpful if you could go ahead and talk to the knights.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's wrong? If anything feels off, return to the infirmary. No need to just grin and bear it. Got it?
Ugh, what could have caused such dizziness? I felt it too. Actually, I felt that way before.
En même temps, on est surmené un petit peu avec tout ce qui se passe, c'est normal. Non, automatique sera bien.
Tell me something.
Alors... Tu peux... Ouais, propose un nouveau truc, parce que toi, je sens que faire la cuisine...
Makes sense to me.
On devient bon, on devient bon. Ah. Ça en fait des choses. Ah, toi aussi t'as une
Teacher.
question. De toute façon, oui, ça... les objectifs, je mets oui à tout le monde. Non mais si encore des quêtes avec des points d'exclamation vert, je suis dans la merde quand même.
You look unwell.
It's because of what happened, isn't it?
Don't speak of it aloud.
You can't change the past. For now, all we can do is use it to our advantage.
I know that. I also know that I must steel myself to ascend the Imperial throne.
Those preparations are going well. Someone is coming.
Professor, I heard about our mission for this month. Something terrible is happening in Remire Village. That's where you were when fate sent you our way. This feels preordained.
Are the Knights making progress with their investigation?
Je vais pas mentir, pour l'instant je sais pas.
If what is happening there is by design, there must be someone pulling the strings. There is the Death Knight, of course, and the mysterious mages who were implicated with the Western Church. They showed up when Flame was kidnapped as well, and now there is another strange occurrence near the monastery. It seems an unknown organization hopes to make the monastery its stage for something.
Do you believe that all these incidents are connected, Professor? That is the logical conclusion, but I'm not so sure. It certainly appears that all of the events surrounding the monastery are connected by a single thread. However, I think it's possible that it may just be a result of different motives overlapping. Remember, Professor, if you think of people as simply enemies or allies, it may be impossible to grasp the truth.
Je m'inquiète pas, de toute façon on va taper dans le tas comme d'habitude et puis voilà. Eh mais il se passe des trucs tous les jours. Bah oui, on va aller voir s'il va bien.
Well, hello, Professor. You came all the way to my room to... Oh. You've brought the materials from your lecture I slept through. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Je l'aime bien quand même, mais bon.
It's not that I want to miss lectures. Exactly. Drowsiness is my arch nemesis. For some reason, I just can't seem to win against it. Just talking about it makes me sleepy. That sounds more than a little exhausting. I think I'll stay in.
Évidemment. Dans
I
tous les
must
cas, il aurait
compliment
dit
you,
ça.
though. By this point in most conversations, I'm bored senseless. But I'm enjoying this. I wonder why. What is it about you that fascinates me so? You're definitely a strange one. In truth, your very nature is odd. You're definitely not a commoner, but you don't seem like a noble either. You're something else. And yet you can wield one of the hero's relics. You're like a hero in some silly legend. Or you could be a villain who came here to enact some evil plot. That wouldn't surprise me either. Hey, Professor,
Oh,
will
si
you
tu
ever
veux.
allow me to investigate that crest of yours? It won't hurt a bit, I swear. I'm sure I could find out all sorts of things about your crest. And you. Of course, I'm not as experienced with such research as Professor Hanneman, but I do what I can. Someday, I think I might like to become a crest scholar. You never know. Oh, don't trouble yourself. I didn't mean now.
Non, tu serais trop occupé à
I've
dormir
got
de
a lot
toute
of
façon.
other research I'm working on at the moment. I tend to start a project, get bored, and then leave it be. I might be ready to investigate your crest soon. I'd have to tidy up a bit first. On that note, good
Il
night,
va me donner envie de
Professor.
dormir mieux à force. Voilà, c'était une bonne chose. Ah bah. Dommage qu'on n'ait pas pu
Much
prendre le thé avec,
appreciated.
tiens.
I am ready to begin. Oh no, this is impossible. Have Oh,
I see
Ouais, faudrait que
now.
je fasse un truc
Well
pour toutes les
worth the
capacités. Il y en
effort.
a énormément maintenant. Mais là, il n'y a que des quêtes en point d'exclamation. Comment vous voulez... Non, c'est pas possible. On peut pas tout faire. On est obligé de faire un choix dans ce jeu. Parce que dans le quartier libre, il y a plein de quêtes aussi intéressantes. Là, il y a des quêtes comme ça. Non, mais c'est... Non. Non, à un moment... à un moment, vous voulez que je fasse ça comment? C'est pas juste. On va faire du quartier libre, ça fait longtemps. Mais... on peut pas tout faire,
I do
c'est
not know why it is so,
impossible.
but being here makes me feel quite unwell. I am so sleepy and a bit... It is a struggle merely to stay conscious. Are you feeling the same? And yet, it feels familiar. As though pulled from a corner of my memory. From a time long ago. I simply cannot fathom it.
Parce qu'après, quand j'appuie là... là, ça c'est les quêtes. Je peux pas retourner, genre, j'ai beau avoir 5 points, machin... je peux pas choisir d'aller ailleurs, par exemple. C'est terrible. Bon, on va aller faire les quêtes. Non, mais là, c'est compliqué de faire les choix quand c'est comme ça. On peut même pas tout faire. C'est injuste. C'est tellement injuste.
Really?
T'as toujours une quête pour moi, toi. Hein.
What is it? I'm in the middle of my daily duties. I assume you know by now that the four saints are all-important figures in the teachings of Seiros. Still, I have a particular fondness for Saint Sethline. I have something to ask of you.
Tu peux me former sur quoi? Bon, de toute façon, elle, je la laisse à l'épée, donc autant... Ah si, encore une quête là. Comment je fais pour y aller à celle-là? Hop, ramasse les trucs. Non, c'est pas là. Il y a les escaliers ici. Hop.
Oh, goodness. Is something the matter, Professor? You look a little pale. Please be careful. It's so easy to catch a cold this time of year. Oh, you want me to join your class? Well, I'm already
C'est
having
bon.
so much...
M'en dis pas plus. De toute façon, elle veut jamais que je la recrute. J'allais dire t'es
I
qui
could
toi?
use your help.
Il kiffe les lettres secréticiens. Du coup, la zone là c'est bon. Toi. Ouais, faut faire des choix au niveau quête maintenant, ça commence à être compliqué. J'aime pas faire des choix, j'aime bien tout faire, mais ce n'est pas possible. Ou alors je sais pas comment.
Professor, do you ever wish you could return to your
Parce que
life
franchement,
as a
enseignante,
mercenary? I thought you might. Traveling the world, just you and Jeralt. How
Maintenant je fais
lovely
les
it
collègues
must
des
be.
élèves.
It was in Ramire that you first met Alois and the rest of his order, was it not? Half a year has come and gone since then. How quickly time passes.
The glory of progress.
It was in Ramire half a year.
C'est elle que je donnais un truc.
appreciate this.
Ma pauvre. Du coup, faut que je retourne ici. On va y arriver. Mais bon, la pauvre quand même, hein, franchement.
Well...
Merde. Je voyais plus où j'allais, c'est là-bas. Ça n'a rien à voir. Je les voyais dans l'autre sens, les escaliers, en fait. J'ai un problème.
Okay.
Impressive. Thanks.
Bah, tu m'étonnes que tu as pu oser la regarder en face. Ah, j'oserais plus non plus à ta place. Ah. Quelle idée en même temps. D'Ambrea, quoi, c'est pas n'importe qui. Bonjour.
Of the 4 or 5 years since I started here, this is certainly the busiest.
It was 4. I've been here 5.
Ah, what's a year here or there? Don't be petty now, Shamir.
You count your enemies the same way.
If I take care of them quickly, what does it matter how many there are? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you, Professor.
As you were saying, it's been a busy year. There never seemed to be enough hands for the work.
That reminds me. Do you have that thing? If you do, we want it.
Want? No. We need it. Give it to me, not her.
Hey now. I'm the one who brought it up. We may be friends, but that's just rude.
Un aiguisoir bicolore. D'accord. Pourquoi?
Hey you, do me a favor.
Pourquoi faire?
Of the 4 or 5
Bon,
years
ça,
since I...
It was 4.
c'est la même
Ah,
chose.
if I...
As you were...
That
Want?
Hey now.
I have a favor to ask.
Non, ça m'intéresse pas pour l'instant. Je vais garder mes points. J'ai pas fait exprès hein, de trouver un truc. Quand je voulais ramasser ça, hop. Ensuite, il y avait une quête là-bas. C'est qu'il y en a des trucs à ramasser. Merde, je suis passée au travers. Reviens. Elle est où l'autre quête? Non, à chaque fois je me trompe de bouton. Merde. Si, téléporte-toi. Mais si j'y tiens. Alors...
You know, Professor, the tournament fish, and the meal we indulged in after the Battle of the Eagle and Lion? Why, all of the food I've eaten in this monastery has been absolutely delectable. Every last bite of it.
Food really is the only thing you think about, huh?
Hardly. I think about all sorts of things.
Oh, like tomorrow's menu, for instance?
Bon, c'est quoi ta quête?
I have a request.
Tu veux toujours pas venir avec moi?
People say you're quite skilled. Perhaps if I joined your class, I could watch your sword technique up close.
Oh, c'est vrai? Tu veux cette fois? Bah vas-y, viens.
Indeed. I think that's best.
Mais il voulait pas avant. Trop
I'll
bien.
transfer to your class then. Don't make me regret it.
Ah, quelle bonne nouvelle.
You know, Professor, why all...
Oh.
Ah, je suis tellement contente. Toi, tu veux pas venir avec moi, hein?
You know, Professor, why all...
Oh.
Hi, Professor. Did you need something? I've actually got plans.
Oh. On peut pas voir tout le monde, hein. Mais, on a recruté quelqu'un aujourd'hui, quand même. Incroyable.
Hey.
Oh non, toi, je t'aime pas. Dégage. La pauvre. Mais non, mais je l'aime vraiment pas. J'y peux rien. Faut pas aimer tout le monde. En l'occurrence, elle, je l'aime pas. C'est comme ça. Je sais pas, ça passe pas. On n'y peut rien.
Professor.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Professor, you seem unwell. How are you faring? If you're not feeling well, I'd strongly recommend some rest.
Que c'est attentionné de ta part.
Let me consider.
Professor, what have you got there? That's... my goodness, that is just what I've been looking for. I can offer nothing more than this, but I do ask that you consider trading with me. I am in your debt, Professor.
Pourquoi tu me donnais ça? Mais c'est pas... Moi je pensais que c'est à lui que j'avais donné le livre du coup. J'avais trouvé un livre chelou. Bon c'est rien, c'est un détail.
I thought we might make it through last month in peace. But no, another incident just had to arise, didn't it? If only this debacle had to do with crests, why, I'd have gone and dealt with it in an instant.
Ah, je peux le recruter? Non.
Professor, I've been watching your class activities, and I wondered if you might desire my help. Just say the word, and I'll pitch in. Of course, I have to be truthful. It's all just a ploy to make it easier to research your crest.
Bah si, on va le faire venir.
Feel free to call on me anytime. I'll be happy to lend a hand.
J'aime bien, moi.
And then you can help out with my class, too. It's a joke, Professor. I'd never put a
Par
burden
contre, ça va
on
me
you,
dire que je vais me prendre la
a
tête
first-year
encore plus
teacher.
pour certaines classes. Ça craint. T'es qui, toi?
Professor, tell me, is this about Ramire? There are more villagers acting strangely today than yesterday. Knights have been dispatched, yet the underlying cause is as yet unclear, and the most anyone can do is stand back and watch. It is most distressing. Professor, what do you think about all this? The goddess! You have spoken near blasphemy, and I would suggest a hasty apology.
Que dalle. Tu peux me former à quoi, toi? Non, pas envie. Donc il y a là que je peux retourner pour une quête. Voilà.
No.
Ah, j'étais obligée de venir te voir quand même. Oh la loose.
Hey, wait a minute. What you've got there, isn't that... Please, could you let me have that? Here, I'll give you this in return. Fantastic! Thanks, Professor. You have no idea how happy this makes me.
Je suis en train d'échanger des objets avec tout le monde, quoi. Bon, je vais retourner ici déjà. Parce que certains parlent de notre petit malaise, comme qu'on n'est pas bien et tout. C'est quand même bien fait. Mais en même temps, c'est chiant parce qu'on se dit, mais il n'y a rien d'annexe du coup. Et c'est embêtant. Parce que je peux pas profiter du jeu dans mon coin seul après.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Merci. Non, j'ai pas envie de le donner à Catherine. Je suis obligée ou bien? Ah, sur la carte, j'ai que ça, merde. C'est nul.
Hey, Professor, I picked this up, but... Oh, hey, it worked out perfectly. Want to trade me what you're holding for it? Thanks, Professor. This is great.
Je vais faire ça combien de temps? Non, je vous aime bien, hein, mais je vois pas l'intérêt. ça pour avoir l'objet que veut Catherine ou Échémir. Ça, c'est certain. Ah, je vous jure, en plus, j'ai de repasser par là, de faire tout le tour. Encore. Cette fois-ci, on rate pas les escaliers. Hein?
Hello, Professor. What's that you've got there? Would you mind trading it with me for this? Oh, thank you so much. I'll be sure to take great care of it.
Toujours pas. Non, tu veux pas que je te recrute, toi. Non, mais je vais y arriver à force. Hein. Ils vont me rendre dingue. Bonjour.
Well, Professor? It's about that thing you have there. If it's not too much of a bother, would you trade it for this? Thank you so much. I'll treasure it forever.
Tu veux venir avec moi?
Oh, Professor, excuse me.
C'est nul. Et je vais faire ça combien de temps? Ah, parce que l'épisode est bientôt fini quand même. Hein.
That's a nice thing you have there, Professor. Don't suppose you're planning on using it yourself. Why don't you trade it for this? Sounds good, right? Excellent doing business with you, Professor.
Ah, ça y est, on l'a.
I've always wanted to say that.
On l'a. Y'a rien à étudier là, non?
Teach.
Entre Catherine et Chémir, je donne à Chémir, hein, aucune hésitation.
You brought it, Professor? Hand it over and I'll make it worth your while.
How? You can't even afford your own drinks. Give it here. You won't regret it.
Excuse me, I asked first. Why don't we let the professor decide? Her?
Elle fait partie de mon équipe, je l'ai recrutée.
You made the
Donc
right
voilà,
choice.
c'est tout.
Here's your reward. I'll let you borrow it later, Catherine, if you quit sulking.
C'est tout.
Thanks.
C'est tout. Du coup, on a fait toutes les quêtes, il nous reste que les combats. Et ouais, et sauf que ce mois-ci, on pourra vraiment pas tout faire. Mais je pense qu'on va se quitter là pour cet épisode. On a un petit peu moins de 30 minutes. Moi, ça me laisse le temps de faire le point et de m'arrêter là. Bon, en tout cas, j'espère que cet épisode vous aura plu. Si c'est le cas, n'hésitez pas à laisser un petit pouce bleu, un commentaire et à partager la vidéo. Ça fait toujours plaisir. Et je vous dis à la prochaine pour le prochain épisode. Ciao tout le monde, des bisous.